Hello friends, today I will discuss for loop programs in Python. For this reason, I am taking some examples of for loop programs in Python. Let's come to the example 1. The program is print numbers from 1 to 5. At first, I am taking the looping statement for after that I am taking the reference I as the iterator variable and then in range between range I am passing two parameters. The range is one of the inbuilt functions. Here the lower bound is 1 and the upper bound is 6. The lower bound in range is inclusive, but the upper bound in range is not inclusive, that is exclusive. For this reason, it actually works from 1 to 5, and each iteration, the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will stores between the variable I. And between the loop, I am using the inbuilt function print for printing the reference I. I will run the program for better understanding. In output screen, we see that it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's come to the second program. Before coming to the second program, at first I am commenting the first portion and uncommenting the second portion. The second is example 2. The program is a range function with one parameter. Here I will discuss the range function by passing one parameter. Here I am using the looping statement for then the iterator variable I, then in range between range 6. Here 6 is the upper bound. Actually it starts from 0 to 5 because the upper bound is not inclusive. For this reason it will work from 0 to 5, and each iteration the numbers will be stored between the I, and between the loop I am using the inbuilt function print for printing the variable I. I will run the program for better understanding. Here the output screen shows 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am moving to the next portion. The next is example 3. The program is multiplication table for a number. At first I am taking one reference number which is integer type, and after that I am using the inbuilt function input for inputting from users. It will show the message enter number to find the multiplication table. As per user's choice, user will give input, and after that I am using the looping statement for I in range, and between range I am using 1 and 11. I am using 11 as upper bound because it is not inclusive. For this reason it will work from 1 to 10. And between the loop I am using the inbuilt function print for printing the result. I am run the program for better understanding. Here the output screen shows enter number to find the multiplication table. Here I am giving 4. After that I am seeing that the total multiplication table of 4 is generated. That is 4 into 1 equal to 4, and at last 4 into 10 equal to 40. Let's move to the next portion. The next portion is example 4, that is print each character of a string. Here I am taking one reference word and storing the string Python between the reference word. Then I am using the looping statement for then the iterator variable letter and then in word. Actually here the variable letter will stores each character of the word Python, and after that I am using the inbuilt function print for printing the variable letter for each character of the word. Let's run the program. Here the output screen shows Python. Let's move to the next portion. It is a program of printing even numbers from 1 to 10. Here I am using three parameters between the range function. Here I am taking the looping statement for and then the iterator variable I, and then in range and between range I am using three parameters. The first is the start, and the second is the stop, and the last is step. Here the lower bound is 2, upper bound is 11. Actually upper bound is not inclusive. For this reason it will works from 2 to 10, and the step is 2 for increment in each iteration. And actually it starts from I equal to 2, and in each iteration the value will be incremented by 2, and then will be 4, then will be 6, and in this way it will be continued. And between the loop I am using the inbuilt function print for printing the variable I. Let's run the program. Here we sing that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's are the even numbers from 1 to 10. Let's move to the last part. Before going to the last part, I am commenting the previous part and uncommenting the last part. It is the program of reverse string. At first, I am taking one reference that's named var, and after that, I am using the input function for taking input from the user. After that, I am using the others variable, that is reverse underscore var, and I am taking the reference as blank. After that, I am using the looping statement for, then I am using the iterator variable I, then in range len of var minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. Here the first parameter is the lower bound, and the second is the upper bound, that is not inclusive. For this reason it will works from len of var minus 1 to 0, and at last each step, that is minus 1. That means it will decremented by 1 in each iteration. Between the loop I am written one operation, that is reverse underscore var plus equal to var of I. That means reverse underscore var equal to reverse underscore var plus var of I. Actually it works in each iteration. At first it is blank, and after iteration starts it will be added by the var of I, and finally it will reverse the whole var. And at last I am using the inbuilt function print for printing the result. Now I will run the program for better understanding. Here the output screen says enter string. Here I am giving program, and the result is the reverse var of program is margorp. That's all about today's program. Thanks for watching.